Howdy folks, you're watching Deuce. Now, how do you legally buy a suppressor? Well, let's go through the whole procedure. I recently picked one up. I had one on order forever, and I finally got the approval to pick it up. So I have a long drive to the location, to the dealer, and I figured I'd put a camera in the car, got my audio going, and I went through the whole spiel while driving there. But real quick before we get started, if you could hit the like button, that would really help out the channel because YouTube has decided to demonetize and pretty much sandbag any video I have that has a suppressor in it. I don't know why, but they've decided that suppressors are evil, even though they're totally legal to own, and there's a huge background check and registration to ownership of a suppressor. Now, I have quite a ways to go between my house and where I purchased a suppressor. I've got a couple-hour drive here ahead of me. So I figure I'll bring you guys along. We can talk about how do you legally purchase a suppressor in the United States. So you pay for everything up front in full. In my case, the hybrid suppressor was like $800-ish, something in that range, $800 or $900. I've forgotten now. And then I had to pay state sales tax, which in Tennessee is 9.25%. And then I had to purchase the tax stamp, which is another $200 on top of that. So I was over $1,000. I was well over $1,000 for the suppressor, and I couldn't even take it home. And in my case, I could try it out if I wanted to. I did not shoot my personal suppressor, but I did test out a whole bunch of suppressors while I was there because this is a very good shop. So why I went to this shop is because you can go there and try before you buy. And I tried before I bought. You have a whole stack of paperwork to fill out, and they're going to take your photo. We're going to get the other lane here. Everybody move! Okay. So they're going to take your photo. It's basically a passport style photograph. So they take your photo and they put that down along with your fingerprints. You get fully fingerprinted for this as well. And then that whole shebang of paperwork and photographs and fingerprints goes to the ATF. And they take a look at it. And they take a look at it and take a look at it. Now, when did I purchase my suppressor? I purchased it in late June of 2018. Late June of 2018. It is now late May of 2019. 11 months. We're talking 11 months of me waiting. Paid in full. Waiting there, ready to go. Now, I had the option to go by the shop and shoot my suppressor there. But I never did do that because that's kind of like going to a strip club. You can go and take a look at it and you can play with it a little bit, but you can't really do anything you really want to with it. And I didn't really want to bother them either because they've got to stop what they're doing and go back to the safe and find my suppressor and make sure it's all there. They're trying to run a business. I'm not going to bother them if I don't have to. So I just kind of let it sit. I've already got a suppressor, so it's not like I am doing without. I've owned a suppressor for 6 years now, I think. Yeah, about 6 years ago, I bought my first one. And I still have to, for every single one I buy after that, I still have to go through the same rigmarole just as if I had never done it before. Even if you bought 4 suppressors on the same day, 4 sets of fingerprints, 4 photographs, and 4 sets of forms, one for each suppressor. Oh yeah, and $200 for every single suppressor. So if you bought 4, that'd be $800 just in stamps, just in tax stamps. When you're trying to choose which suppressor to buy, don't go chasing decimal figures because number one, all those are calculated differently. Every company calculates their own figures. It's an unregulated measurement. So every company does it a little different way, and every company will do it in a way to make them appear better to everybody else. That's just common nature. So if you can, try before you buy. And if not, go with a reputable company, one that has been around the block a few times, and go on the forums and ask people what they think of that suppressor or this suppressor. Most of them are going to be fine. Most of the big boys, they make fine suppressors. They're all pretty good because your ear is not a digital. Your ear doesn't operate digitally. So oftentimes a suppressor that meters louder can sound quieter just because it's a lower tone, and our ears don't hear lower tones as easily as higher pitch tones. Passing through Knoxville, Knox Vegas. I went to school here. Every state only has 1, 2, maybe even 3 really, really good top-notch suppressor and machine gun sales places. There's only enough volume to have 2 or 3 really good ones in each state. So it is not uncommon to have to drive many hours to purchase your suppressor. And of course, you can only purchase your suppressor from a in-state dealer. So depending on where you live, you may be driving 4, 5, 6 hours to go pick up your suppressor. That's not unheard of. That's uncommon, but it's not unheard of. Me, driving 2 hours to go pick this up, that's not a big deal to me. This Shell station right here, this gas station, we usually call it the stop and rob because we're right next to I-40 and I-75 where it crosses in Knoxville. We just call it the stop and rob because it got robbed on a weekly basis. Bear in mind that suppressor ownership is not legal in every state, nor is it legal in certain cities in some states. So check with a local dealer to make sure that you can own one if you are interested in ownership. Also, if you want to check on prices, you can Google away and you can purchase a suppressor online. Now, it's just like a firearm purchase where they ship it to a local dealer that can deal with a suppressor transfer, and then you go through your local dealer that way. But remember, that local dealer, they're going to have a ton of work involved in getting that suppressor transferred over to you. And of course, they have to store it for up to a year before the transfer goes through. So typically, they charge a decent fee, $100, $200, somewhere in that range usually, to transfer it from where you purchase it online to you. So a lot of times, unless you find just an incredible deal online, it is cheaper to purchase from the dealer directly. That's what I found. It's usually, or about the same price. And I might as well support the local guy versus online when I can, when it's feasible to do so. But you can find a crazy deal on occasion. Go with that. But remember that you will be charged an additional fee for that online purchase. Well, guys, that's it for me today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like and go subscribe. A lot more is on the way. If you want to stay on Deuce Guns channel, go ahead and click on one of these 2 videos right here. As always, you guys have a great day. See ya.